Alright, we're gonna be drawing an eye today. Pretty simple. You know, I'm using a reference. I'll link it in the description or whatever. I think you should use a reference, you know, so you can see the real thing. But whatever. The first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna make a plus sign. Then we're gonna make a big circle. Now we're gonna make a smaller circle. Alright, this is gonna be the iris. And now you're gonna make an even smaller circle. This is your pupil. So from here, we basically have the whole eyeball. We got the whole eyeball. So from here, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna draw the outline for where the eyeball meets the eyelids. Alright, so we got that down. You're just gonna want to make sure that you got it close enough, I guess. It doesn't have to be perfect, but yeah, we have our outline. You can erase all this stuff here. So we've got our general outline, so from here I'm just gonna like solidify this in, you know, darken my lines in for the pupil or whatever, draw in my reflection, and we'll get moving on. Alright, so from here, what I like to do is just fill in the pupil. I made a video detailing this process. I'll put it up right around here. Just a quick recap in case, I don't know. Just a quick recap. We'll split all these sections up and detail them evenly. And then we'll add the detail into these individual slices. Yeah, from here I like to shade in the rest of the eye. So what I'll do is I'll take like these two corners and I'll kind of make like a dark little piece here and like try to darken this up in here, and I'll just blend it. Alright, so it should look something like this. From here, I like to move on to the eye. From here, I like to move on to the eye. From here, I like to move on to the eyelashes. It takes a lot of practice to get these down. Just make sure that they look fluid, I guess. It's hair, so what I like to do is just make a general sketch first. I would use a scratch sheet of paper so you don't smear your iris. I'll just re-go over them, just make them darker or whatever. Alright, now from here we're gonna add in the, I guess, the little eye fold, the eyelid fold. Alright, and from here, we're just going to shade this line in. Alright, so you should have something like this. From here, we're just gonna go ahead and shade in the rest of the top eyelid. Alright, so I'm pretty much done with that now. Notice how I sort of split these two sections here and left this side, and I left this more open in here. That's sort of to create the illusion of like a 3D effect with the eyelids sort of coming out and over the eyeball. And I try to use a bit harsher lines near the edges to sort of convey wrinkles. So, you know, you can try to incorporate that in what you're doing. Now we're just gonna move on to the bottom eyelid. Alright, so from here we're gonna add in our bottom eyelashes. We'll put them in this little region in here, right? So try to keep them a bit staggered, but sort of within this little margin. Alright, so from here we're just gonna start the shading. So remember this margin in the middle that we put our this margin in the middle we put our eyelashes in. We're actually gonna leave it sort of we're gonna leave it light, we're gonna leave it white. And the two other margins that we had in the bottom here, we're gonna shade that in, and sort of up here on our little plateau, we're gonna kind of shade it in. Don't shade all the way up to the eye. Kind of try to leave a bit blank. Just sort of darken the line that you already made. Make it a little bit wider. So we're just gonna do that real quick. Alright, so now from here, we're just going to add some of the finishing touches. First off, we're going to get this little tear sack here. We're going to outline the reflections and just shade around them. Alright, so next up, we're going to try to close the bottom eyelid. We're also going to be adding some imperfections to the eyeball. So like veins and stuff like that. Pretty much this is the entire eye. There's not much else to do, but of course I like to just do a quick once over, sort of darkening my shading and whatnot. For this I will be using the help of a heavier pencil. This one's 0.9, so maybe you can try doing that. Just filling in the iris, shading it a little bit heavier because I just like to shade heavy. Makes everything stand out a bit more. But yeah, other than that, we're pretty much done. So I'll just do that real quick and we'll be out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just darkened the whole thing and I kind of refluffed my eyelashes, but yeah, I mean, hopefully you didn't have too much of a hard time following. Thanks for watching. Yeah.